The homie Lawrence Jackson is here to help us overreact and overstate all things week one. But I don't think it's an overstatement, fellas. Like, Lawrence, I was thinking, and Michael, you'll appreciate this because you stuck with me every day. It's like, if ever there was a living embodiment among NFL quarterbacks, Lawrence, of, as the eagle flies with the dove, if you can't be with the one you loved and love the one you with, like Tua Tagovailoa has gone, we're a long way from, oh man, it was supposed to tank for Joe Burrow, but they ended up taking Tua. And did they take the right one because Justin Herbert went right afterward? And get Deshaun Watson or not, because that's where he wants to go. Oh, wait, they flirted with Tom Brady and they got Dr. Draft pick. It's like they wanted everybody and their mama but Tua Tagovailoa. And after one game, if I was placing a bet right now, Michael's the betting man, Lawrence. If I was a betting man, I'd bet on Tua for MVP right now. I don't know what those odds are, but I'd take them.
Yeah, you would have a good bet there, to be honest. There was points of last season when he got talked about as far as being an MVP, but, he dealt with the concussions and whatnot. And first off, let me just say, Michael, appreciate y'all having me on. And for all the folks out there watching, find me on Twitter, go to the search bar and just type in Tua right there for me, because for me, this is nothing new. We've now seen Tua have 2 games like this, throwing for over 460 yards, right? One time was against Herbert, the other time was against Lamar, and they won both games. So throwing in an MVP ticket right now is definitely a decent choice right now, because before this first game, he was at plus 2,200. Now that thing at 700 now, so you lost a little bit of it, but it's still a solid number. Yeah. In the offense, as you could, like, the Chargers defense got talent. Like, you see him over there, Derwin James, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, and them. They couldn't. It was a track meet. Nobody could stop the other guy. So and the Dolphins couldn't even run the ball at that. So it's just like, yeah, man. I think it's a good ticket.
Are you happy, Michael, for anybody more than you are for Tua? Sorry, Mike. I am.
No, I am happy for him. I'm happy for Tua. That's why my whole theme, Mike, today is just like haters. Even Brock Purdy. I'm happy for Brock Purdy individually until the playoffs, so I can root against him again. I'm rooting for him in the regular season. In the playoffs, I start rooting against him. But Tua has had to hear a lot from people, and I just want to know from you, Lawrence, how far can we take this thing? I mean, is it not? Because right now it's like, oh, look at Tua. It's complimentary, but it's almost like, well, what did you expect me to do? You thought I was going to throw for 175 yards?
Yeah,
with Tyreek
right.
Hill and Jalen Waddle? When do we get to the point of Tua, or do we get to the point of Tua being in the same level as Burrow and Herbert?
We should already be there. To be quite honest, he's a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Like, that part has already been solidified for me.
Whoa.
You can't.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's
Really?
easy money for me. And if we watching yesterday's game, not about to tell me Justin Herbert better than Tua. Ain't no way, no how. In fact, the Chargers is lucky they ran the ball as well as they did, or the game wouldn't even been close. But the Dolphins defense was kind of weak up against the run. Like, nah, man, it's always been Tua over Herbert for me. Tua just had to get healthy, get a little bit of offensive line, get some actual receivers. When Tyreek Hill got traded to the Dolphins, people was like, oh, he going from Patrick Mahomes to Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah.
I'm like, people, hold on. Now you see what he did on his last drive. All you got to do is think back to 2018 as a true freshman when he came off the bench for Jalen Hurts in the national championship. True freshman, end up being the game MVP. I said, that little boy right there, he got it. Been following him ever since, and now I'm happy to see him healthy. Hopefully he stay healthy. But yeah, get like, as far as like the tiers, like, give me Tua above Justin Herbert, easy.
See, what Lawrence is basically telling y'all is, y'all new to this, I've been true to this. But I want to talk about Joe Burrow, though. I want to talk about Joe Burrow, though, because, so Michael and I both picked the Bengals to reach the Super Bowl. I got them going. He's got them winning the Super Bowl. Thankfully, they don't give out the trophies after week one. So Burrow looked rusty. He looked bad. The whole offense looked bad.
Right.
And in true Michael Holley fashion, Jamar Chase, he couldn't give credit to the Browns without shading them even more. Is Jamar Chase?
It's frustrating because I called their ass elves and we just lost to some elves, so I'm pissed on my part. I'm pissed on that. And like I said, man, we got missed opportunities. We didn't capitalize on that, and we lost. So that's how we lost.
See, Jamar don't understand, like, elves, he must have done his research, because elves could be evil. Elves could cause a lot of trouble if you pick on the wrong elves. And so these Browns, man, they look different, man. They look like they were, I mean, we don't talk about their defense. We talk so much about Deshaun and Nick Chubb and opening up the offense, and their defense has let them down over the years. But Jim Schwartz is calling that defense now, Lawrence. And he got Myles Garrett playing mind games, playing Jedi mind tricks at the line of scrimmage, man. Like, that division coming into the season, Baltimore, who I'm always a big fan of. I know you're a Lamar Jackson guy. People had a lot of praise for Pittsburgh after the preseason. Hell, obviously Cincinnati has been the class the last couple of years. Yo, can the Browns win this division after what you saw them do to Cincinnati week 1, Lawrence?
Yeah, they certainly can win the division. I actually got them going to the playoffs this season. And I was not one who was hopeful for Pittsburgh after the preseason, although they stay well coached. We do know that. But the Cleveland Browns, man, you just talked about their defense, right? And you mentioned Myles Garrett. He's the only returning starter from the defensive line. That's what people not really realizing in the midst of mentioning.
Put a lot of money into that.
Right. And that includes Zadarius Smith, who's still playing at a high level. And like you said, a lot of mention goes to how Deshaun Watson was rusty last year and how the offense is new, but the team is stacked. Like, you look at it, offensive line, good. Defensive line, good. Linebackers is okay. Secondary, phenomenal. And you saw that yesterday on Joe Burrow's end, though. For him, and I even say this about Lamar too, Joe Burrow and Lamar, that was their preseason game yesterday, because they ain't playing the preseason. So, you know, and Joe Burrow had a horrible week 1 last year. He threw 4 interceptions. So, and then the Bengals start off 0-2. So we ain't gonna put too much stock into that when you've already proven you're a top guy. But the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens, they gonna be ready to duke this out. And even the Steelers, man, when you get these guys division battles, they'll battle as well. They got ran off the field by the Niners, but it's the toughest division in football right now.
You at all concerned? We haven't had a chance as a family to talk about the team from brother from another, the Detroit Lions. Detroit, stand up. They beat Kansas City. Are you at all concerned? I'm not talking about Detroit right now. I'm talking about Kansas City. Some of those receivers look very average. Mike already mentioned it. Kadarius Toney, ball right there in the breadbasket, can't hold on to it. A lot of receivers didn't really
can post on
up.
Instagram, though.
Yeah, you can. Are you concerned about Kansas City at all?
Nah, again, like I said, you know, for guys that have proven themselves, and no one's done that in the NFL more than Patrick Mahomes, you know, we'll get a little bit of leeway. Like, I didn't even feel like the Lions played well. Neither team played well, but one thing is true. The Chiefs definitely was missing Chris Jones there. The receivers, new and young receivers. It kind of makes you wonder, like, man, Juju was pretty good for the Chiefs last season with over 900 yards. But, yeah, they're trying to figure out, like, who going to be – we know what Travis Kelce going to do, and obviously that was a big miss for them. But they still trying to figure out who's going to be that at least serviceable top wide receiver 1, and out of Kadarius Toney and Justin Ross and Sky Moore and Rashee Rice. It's a lot of talent. Somebody got to step up to be at least okay. Because if you could get one of these guys to be okay, well, then they could play with Travis Kelce there. So, no, I'm not worried about the Kansas City Chiefs yet at all. As long as they got number 15, they in it.
Well, I mean, we knew the AFC was deep. It might be a little more wide open than we thought. But again, it is week 1. I gotta keep telling myself it's week 1. But that's what's fun. It's fun to react to week 1. It's a national holiday in and of itself. But I'm gonna tell you, man, one person who I won't call an overreaction to his performance because I was a believer, but even still, not as much of a believer as I know you to be, Lawrence, and that's in Anthony Richardson. And I was saying this a lot, like, for all the talk about him being raw and inexperienced and needing reps, if you paid attention to his progression at Florida that one season, he got better the more he played. He's studious, he's conscientious, he's diligent, he works hard, and he processes well. Like, he gets it, he's cerebral. You know, people talk about his physical skills. He is a cerebral guy that learns from his mistakes. He's not a repeat offender. Seeing him go out there and put up an unprecedented stat line, first rookie QB with 200 or more passing yards, 40 or more rushing yards, a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown in his first game, but really just, you know, be accurate. Not perfect, but be accurate and be poised and competent and capable and composed as a passer. That was really encouraging. I got all the top three. They all had some growing pains and will have some growing pains. The top three QBs in the draft, to me, he was far and away the better guy between him, Stroud, and Young.
Yeah, definitely. And it was definitely encouraging to see, especially since they don't have Jonathan Taylor, man. I'm watching that game yesterday, man, and I'm just like, man, I wish they had Jonathan Taylor, because the Jags was not respecting the run at all. Like, any non-quarterback runs, the Jaguars was not respecting that. Like, and, you know, I mean, no disrespect, but Deion Jackson wasn't helping them out. Lost the fumble, dropped the pass here and there, and they just couldn't get anything going. The rookie, Evan Hull, who got in there and had a decent run, once they let him in, he ended up getting hurt. And I feel like they was going to go with him after that run, but then he got hurt, man. But all in all, man, it was definitely encouraging, definitely something for him to build on. It would be nice if we could get a little more consistency out of a receiver outside of Michael Pittman Jr. But for what all it's worth, man, it was a good spot. A lot of his doubters in the draft process will point to his completion percentage, which was under 54% at Florida. But if you watched Florida play Utah in week 1 of college football, that was the team he played on last year, and they beat Utah when Anthony Richardson was with him. You see, people don't put 2 and 2 together. His first NFL game.
They put 2 and 2 together. They just moved the goalposts.
Move the goalposts. Goalposts be all crossed up now. You know what I'm saying? But first NFL game, he throws 37 passes and completes 65% of those. For some reason, people thought this dude was coming into the NFL to some quote-unquote run-heavy offense. Like, baby, this the NFL. You throwing the ball, and this guy could do it. They thinking this guy gonna be throwing it 13 times a game and running it 13 times a game. Nah, running is that's an extra gift that we have, man. But I'll say this too: the Colts defense stepped up a lot, and that's what helped him. That helped them a lot as well.
He was in a neutral game script. That was
so if you
real
could
good
get
for him.
that running game, Leonard Fournette, if Jonathan Taylor don't come back, man, holla at the Colts, man. You know, so they get that running game going. It's going up for him.
Lawrence Jackson, we holla at you later, man. Thank you so much for falling through in regular season form.
Appreciate y'all having me.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.